Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend D.G. Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/CapesandLunatics. Hope to see you there.
Hi, this is Erica Schultz, and you are listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
Hey kids, we're back. That's right. Welcome back to another episode of X-Men Classics. I am Phil. Joining me, as always, that X-Biscuit himself. It is. Uh-oh. Justin there?
Ooh.
Justin?
I'm having some lag issues apparently tonight.
I saw that. It's Justin the Owl.
I'm here.
I know. I thought
Justin the Owl getting the claws out.
Oh, nice. I was going to call you Iceman for a minute. You're all frozen. That's right, kids.
Right.
We're back this time. Again, this whole month, we're going to be doing Wolverine stories in honor of his 50th anniversary.
That's right. Old Man Logan, indeed.
And, of course,
Big 5-0.
And, of course, we just saw him recently in the new Deadpool and Wolverine trailer.
Yes. I'm excited for that movie. I think it's going to be a good time.
Oh, me too. Marvel Jesus, yes.
Oh, man. That movie's going to be crazy. There's going to be so much going on.
There's going to be so many Easter eggs. It's just like, random people who used to play characters popping up and stuff.
Yeah. From 20 years ago.
Yeah. So anyway, yes, we are covering X-Men Origin, which, for those of you who don't know, when some genius at Marvel decided, hey, let's give Wolverine an origin finally.
Finally.
In 2001. But again, I mean, this was like, Lilith and I were even talking some Spider-Man from around this era. This was like the weird era where it's like, it's after the bankruptcy, but it's before Disney buys Marvel. So it's like, it's almost like, okay, let's throw everything at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah. In that decade, they were doing a lot of different things. And I think we saw a lot more miniseries than we ever saw before. I think they were trying to shy away from doing a lot of relaunches and doing a lot of number ones and things and ongoing series. They're doing a lot more miniseries from what I remember.
I don't know, man. I don't know. In the 90s, it seemed like every X character got a miniseries. Seems like Venom had multiple miniseries.
Oh, yeah. Venom for a while had a different, like 3 or 4 different miniseries a year.
They didn't want to commit to an ongoing for Venom, but they're like, yeah, just keep giving a miniseries. Come on.
Yeah.
He would get like 4 issue miniseries every year. Like,
with holographic embossed covers. They'll buy them all.
Whoa. My favorite duo, Owlboy and Knobhead. What?
Oh my.
Listen, Mountain Dew Redneck. How dare you? You addict. You Energon addict. Just come in and say hi.
Howdy, y'all. Nom, 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 nom. I spend too much money on tobacco and Mountain Dew.
Just sit there and enjoy your hobby.
He's cradling my nuts.
Anyway. All right. So should we jump into these 6 issues?
Yes. Yeah. There's a lot of story packed into these 6 issues.
Oh yeah. All right. So Wolverine: The Origin #1 from November 2001. The Hill. Writers Paul Jenkins, Bill Jemas, and Joe Quesada. Oh God. Penciler and inker Andy Kubert, colorist Richard Eisnove, letterer John Rochelle, and Seda Temo Fonant, and editors Mike Martz and Mike Raich. So a lot of names here I'm not too familiar with.
Yeah, me too.
A young girl named Rose O'Hara is brought to the Howlett estate by Mr. Kenneth, the family chauffeur. She is to be young James's companion. On arrival, she meets Dog Logan and the head maid, Mrs. Hopkins, who warns her of the boy and his father, Thomas. Rose meets Master John and his father, a grumpy old man. She spends most of her time either writing in her diary or watching James and Dog play. Rose, James, and Dog all become great friends, and Dog even saves Logan from drowning. When the adults find out, the eldest Howlett tells Thomas that he should punish his son. At home, Thomas gets drunk and beats his boy. Rose and James, this is not a euphemism, Rose and James are in the maze when Dog shows up, only to run away. On Christmas, John and his father fight. Rose is sad. James gets a puppy, and John gives Dog a toy train, which upsets his father. That evening, Dog returns home only to get beat again. So yes, like you said, Justin, a feel-good Christmas tale here. All right. And the solicit for this issue was originally, a century ago, two young boys grow up together. One is wealthy, one is destitute. One will be Wolverine.
One will be Wolverine. I love that.
I know. One will be Wolverine.
Oh, Marvel.
There could be only one. All right. So what you think of this first one?
I loved this. This was actually my first time reading this miniseries because I missed this when it originally came out. And of course,
Russell, the synopsis, Judy B. Jones. It's weird, Russell, because it's set 100 years ago, so it's kind of like it's just weird. It's like a very of a period piece.
Yeah, well, I like how a lot of the narration is told through Grace's journal, her diary.
Yes,
I really liked that because it was a nice framework for the whole thing. I liked how hers was kind of the voice, the prism in which we see all of this stuff unfold. Mm-hmm. I really liked that. That was a nice touch on the story that I wasn't really expecting.
And it's so
when I was first reading.
And it's so funny because it's like, oh, we're already doing the why does he have a thing for redheads?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I thought that right away. I was like, oh, here we go. This is where it started.
Even though eventually
his first love was a redhead. Oh,
and even though eventually he's not gonna remember any of this.
Well, I think he always remembered a little piece of it. You know,
it's buried in the subconscious.
Yeah, one little fraction of a sliver of a memory. You know,
until House of M, he basically gets it all back.
They'll give you a migraine.
Mm-hmm. And what did you think of the art, like the Kubert art?
I loved it. Yeah. This is a much different style of his than I was used to seeing.
Well, I wonder if that's a very intentional too, just because of the story. You know, just to make it seem more timeless, almost like you're reading like an old timey novel, and if you did illustrations, it might kind of look like this.
Yeah, something set in the late 1800s. Yeah, and also the colors were really cool too. They added another dimension onto the artwork, which was really nice. That I wasn't expecting either. Yeah,
yeah, like a cold winter night.
Definitely, yeah. And I really liked the piece in the beginning where they showed the actual construction of the Howlett estate.
Oh yeah,
I thought that was cool to kind of give even more background to all of this.
Yeah,
like you actually see the origins of this house where everything starts in the very beginning.
Oh yeah, just that in the middle of nowhere. Yes.
Yeah.
They say it was built on a foundation of tears.
Yeah. The middle of the Canadian wilderness. Let's put a mansion out here. Why not?
Well, I guess if you have the money back then, why not?
Right. Yeah. I'd probably do it if I had the money. Hell with it.
You don't want to be around those commoners.
Yeah, people leave me alone.
The Scarlet King. No. What the Scarlet Plot Device? What?
Well, how many besides Jean? How many other redheads has Logan pursued over the years?
I swear there's been more. Wasn't Heather Hudson a redhead?
Oh.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, technically they weren't together, but I mean,
well, maybe. Yeah.
some redheads in his. I swear there's been.
He did have the huts for her. Yeah.
Yeah, I swear there's been at least one other red. There's been other redheads.
Be funny if he had a thing from Madeline Pryor. That'd be really funny.
It'd be funny if like that was the whole reason. If he trusted her somewhat. That's why. I mean, hell, that's why Cyclops married her. She looked like Jean Grey.
Right, exactly.
Oh, you look like my dead love. Okay, let's go. That's a foundation. There you
go. Why move on? What's that?
Wait a minute. The carpet matches the drapes. Marry me. But yeah, so yeah, lots of setup here. But okay. Just issue 1 before we even get to issue 2. At this point, did you know who Wolverine was going to be?
I did, only because I knew the name.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, the name was the giveaway to me.
I remember reading this the first time and thinking that's probably. I'm like, I hope it's him, just because it's like. That way, at least they're trying to be clever a little bit. You know, if they had gone the other way, it would have been like, no, that's way too obvious.
Yeah, too obvious, yeah. And that was another reason. I was like, yeah, that's definitely not going to be him, because the dad looks exactly like him. Like, there's no way they're going to do that. Oh. But then, as I thought about it, I was like, okay, cool. I mean, it makes sense that young Wolverine, young James Howlett, would remember the visage of the old man Logan, Tom, and just as the most imposing and like most nastiest looking figure that you could possibly be, and then kind of want to mold his own image onto that when he decided that was the type of person that he wanted to be, was an imposing figure that people didn't want to mess with.
I don't know if we'll get there towards the end here, but yeah, I don't know if he consciously chose that, but once again, it's like that he. I don't know if that's part of the healing factor or just the trauma, but like his mind just basically was taking stuff out and using whatever it could. Yeah, I'm
sure it was subconscious. Yeah, his mind was like thinking that's the archetype of like a really tough, imposing guy. Yeah.
Russell, wonder how different things would have been if they stuck with who's originally supposed to be Logan's. Was it Sabretooth originally?
I think so, wasn't it? Or that they were going to be brothers or something.
I think they had played with both at some point, because like there have been so many different writers and stuff. I think he's like, at first he's like, I'm your dad, or it's like, then I'm your brother. Yeah, I think. Yeah. But it was all just Sabretooth messing with him. It was just.
Yeah. Yeah, if Sabretooth had been the dad, that would have been dumb. Ugh.
Just because.
That would have been. Yeah.
Just because it's like, oh yeah, you're you have a healing factor, you're wild. Yeah, me too.
Let's scratch each other up.
I hate it when they like gave Sabretooth adamantium. I'm like, really? Come on.
Oh, I know, yeah. Yeah, he was nasty enough on his own. He didn't need to add that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, kids, make sure you check out Sabretooth and Daredevil Black Armor. The last issue came out this week.
Nice. I have to get the trade of that when that comes out.
It's good, yeah. There's like in the first issue, and now in this last issue, he fights Sabretooth and Hobgoblin at the same time.
Nice, at the same time. I love it.
And we all love seeing Hobgoblin get punched in the face.
Yeah, I bet that artwork is great too. Nitho Diaz.
Oh yeah,
right. Yeah, he's amazing.
All right, so should we get to the next issue?
Number 2, sure.
Number 2, all right. Wolverine. I always thought it was just Origin, but I mean, everywhere I look on Marvel, on the Marvel app, on the synopsis, it said Wolverine: The Origin.
The Origin, yeah. Well, wasn't there also a series called Wolverine Origins, plural?
Yeah. It was like an ongoing, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess this is to separate it from that.
I guess, but it's so weird because every cover you look at just has Origin on it.
Yeah, it's weird.
I know. You would think that they would splash Wolverine's name all over that cover and be like, "Hey, look, this is it. This is his origin." Oh, Russell, I kind of want to read the Sabretooth War thing. Oh, yeah. That's what's going on right now in the Wolverine book. Yeah, it's bloody. They even put a parental warning on it and everything.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I love the Origins series, Daniel Way. Yeah, that's where they first introduced Wolverine's son and everything. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think that might have went like 50 years issues.
It did go on for a while.
Yeah, for a while there. It was Wolverine had 2 monthly books, kids.
Hmm.
And it wasn't the 90s. You would have thought that would have been the 90s, but no.
Well, he kind of did. He had his own book, and he had Marvel Comics Presents as well.
True. Yeah.
He was a regular fixture in there.
That was so funny because I think that I heard like the original plan was supposed to be every issue of Marvel Comics Presents was supposed to be one of like the mutants, and then all the other stories, and then it suddenly transformed from a mutant story to every issue a Wolverine story.
A Wolverine story.
And then by a certain point, I think like every issue it was you had to have one Wolverine story, one Ghost Rider story, and then whatever else in the middle.
In the 90s, yeah, in the 90s it changed to Ghost Rider, absolutely.
I think that's the first time the 90s Ghost Rider and Wolverine like met each other was in Marvel Comics Presents.
Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah.
I got that at the back issue not too long ago. And yeah, they were, of course, and they fight.
Oh, yes, naturally.
And you get Ghost Rider. Yeah, there was a Ghost Rider and Cable story or two. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Cyber did show up.
Cyber.
Yes.
Yeah, that's one of Russell's favorites. Yeah. An adamantium-laced villain.
All right, so Wolverine, The Origin, number 2, December 2001, Inner Child, by the same creative team. Might be of different letterers, Wes Abbott and Oscar Gongora. A few years have passed, and Rosefield's dog has become more like his father, cruel and heartless. John Howlett has begun to prep young James for his future as master of the estate, though his own father disapproves of the gentle means by which he instructs the boy. Rose, during the course of her duties, walks in on Elizabeth Howlett and sees her as she is dressing, noticing 3 scars across her torso. Rose is pushed back out of the room by Mrs. Hopkins and told never to say a word about what she saw. She runs outside to the gardens and is accosted by Dog, who makes unwanted advances upon her. Sexual harassment, too. There we go. Add that to the bingo card, kids. James witnesses the situation and runs to tell his father. Oh, God, Wolverine's running and telling his dad. Can you imagine? We're going to tell on you.
First and only time that happens.
I know. Rose slaps Dog and gets away. Dog's father, Thomas, is reprimanded by John Howlett, who tells him to take care of his son. Later, after being punished, Dog attacks James for telling on him and ends up killing James's puppy in front of him. Animal cruelty. All right, add that to the bingo.
Yeah, my least favorite part of this.
Yeah. This leads.
That's what prompted my my little tagline under my name.
Oh, Justice for Callie. Yeah.
Justice for Callie. Yeah.
This leads to the Logans being fired and forced off to Howlett property. Thomas Logan and Dog, bearing shotguns, storm the estate and force Rose to show them how to sneak into the master bedroom. Thomas, Doug, and Rose enter the room, whereupon Thomas grabs Elizabeth and tells her that he is taking her with him. Elizabeth, tellingly, doesn't seem to mind the idea, but insists that he release Rose. John enters the room and is attacked and then killed by Thomas. Dog threatens to kill James, but he is rescued by Rose. James rushes Thomas for killing his father and is then knocked back by Thomas's shotgun, but Thomas quickly realizes that he is bleeding profusely from stab wounds in his abdomen. He falls to the ground dead. James is then revealed to have sprouted claws from his hands and that they are covered in Thomas's blood, and he falls on his knees, screaming and crying at the loss of his father. All right, so there's your reveal, kids. Yes.
Yeah, here it is.
So
I'm glad that they only waited until issue number 2 for that.
Yeah,
That was good. Considering this was a 6-issue miniseries, I'm glad they didn't keep that going too long. Yeah.
I'm glad we didn't keep this to the estate the whole time, yeah.
Yeah, that would have gotten kind of dull, wouldn't it? To keep it in that, yeah. This whole issue was a bit of a gut punch.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with Callie. But as soon as I saw that puppy, I thought to myself, oh, God. Something horrible is going to happen to that poor little dog. I just know it. I had that sinking feeling in my gut, like any animal any cute little animal that shows up in an Alan Moore story. I'm like, oh God, what's going to happen to this poor thing?
Either that, or any animal or woman that shows up in a Frank Miller story.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly, that too. What's going to happen to this poor woman by the end of this story? What's Frank going to do to her?
Who cares? She's a whore.
Yeah. Oh, poor Callie.
I know.
Yeah. I wish we could have been spared that. But I guess it was an important defining moment for, Logan's childhood,
Yeah. So, I mean, two things. Well, first, like John Howlett telling Thomas, he's like, "You're lucky it'll have you hanged." He's like, "Get out, you're fired." You're lucky it'll have you hanged.
Yeah. They didn't mess around back in those days. And plus, like, who's the law in those days? Who's going to come poking around and be like, "Oh, we heard that you hung this dude."
I mean, they're in the middle of nowhere. I mean, they're probably in no one's jurisdiction. Yeah.
Yeah. Could do pretty much whatever they wanted and get away with it.
As we see. So the whole thing with like the scars on James's mother and stuff, and just with Thomas coming for her later. So they never come out and spell it out. But I'm like, so either there was an affair going on, or a rape. I mean,
yeah, there's also some mental illness stuff implied with the mother.
Yeah,
so
but I mean, she has the scars too, like the 3 scars and stuff, and
yeah. I don't know. It's weird because the scars almost look like Wolverine claws.
So
yeah.
I'm like, I don't think James would have popped his claws yet, because I mean, probably not. Mutant powers are usually at puberty, right? So
yeah, right.
So I'm like, did Thomas have claws?
Well, that was something I was thinking. I was like, did the father actually have claws? And he
looks like adult Wolverine, so I'm thinking. So was Thomas his biological father?
Yeah. Or
that's what I'm saying. They don't spell it out, but that's what I'm saying. Through like through like either a rape or an affair, was he his father?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't think they ever say it.
Yeah, it was definitely something I thought about when I saw that.
I can't even remember, but there is an Origin 2. Like, I have that one too, but it's been years and years. But I can't even barely remember what happens in that. But I don't think
they don't address any of that stuff.
I don't think they ever address. Yeah, really address anything. That's what I'm saying. Are we supposed to take from that? That is that the whole point of this series? Aren't we supposed to be spelling stuff out and saying, "Okay, this is it. This is his father, his mother."
Yeah.
So, I just from the claw marks and like that. Yeah, Thomas looks exactly like adult Wolverine. I'm thinking like there was some kind of he was this man conceived him through some means. So.
Yeah, and they had didn't they have another child who died previously? Like,
yeah,
didn't James have a brother that was older?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the thing. Yeah. You're right. Yeah, because maybe John and the wife couldn't conceive, so she was the Thomas and tells John it's his son.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's what happened.
Because once again, I mean, the era we're in, there's no DNA tests. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and it would explain why he looks so much like him. Yeah.
But that's just what I want to know. Did Thomas have claws? Because again, she married, marked the enemy. And again, even if like baby James had claws, those look like regular size Wolverine claw marks. So.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but if he did have claws, why wouldn't he have used them like against?
You would think,
instead of a shotgun, why wouldn't he have used them in a moment of rage like that?
Yeah, that's why I'm like, what the hell? What the hell? What was with those claw marks again? Were we supposed to think that's the baby? But was that baby James? But it's like it's usually puberty when they get their powers and stuff.
Right. Yeah, it's weird.
But yeah, what did you think of like that big page reveal splash page of him just like on his knees,
screaming? Yeah, I love that. What a great way to end that issue, really. It's perfect. Yeah. Because how could you not want to know what happens next after you see that?
So
Yeah, that was a great issue. Yeah.
oh, yeah.
Even though it was a bit of a gut punch, it was a great issue because we got really important stuff in this for his origin, for his development as a person. Yeah.
Oh, hey, I did know this. I haven't watched it, but Origin was adapted in a motion comic miniseries comprised of 6 episodes called Wolverine Origin. The miniseries was created by Marvel Knights Animation and released by Shout Factory on DVD in July 9th, 2013. So it's one of those motion comic things.
Okay. I don't remember that at all.
I remember they tried to do a few of those. Like, they did this. I think they did, like, that, the Bendis Spider-Woman, I think they did that with, too.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember if they did anything else, but I do remember this one and the Spider-Woman one. And when they say motion comic, I wonder if it's like those Marvel cartoons from like the 60s. You ever see those? Like the Namor, like Hulk, and they basically just took the comic page, put it on the screen, and you just like move one arm or something.
Yeah. They did that briefly too, I think, on Netflix, like a few years ago with Black Panther.
Oh,
they had an animated Black Panther motion comic on there that was kind of like that same style. And if I remember right, the voice actor was Jimon Honsu, who showed up in the MCU a lot. Over the years.
I think I did hear about that. Yeah.
I think he did the voice of T'Challa, so it was really great.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a good little one. That motion comic was great.
All right, you ready for number 3?
Number 3. We get to see what happens next.
Wow, look at that cover.
Yeah, it's so good.
All right, Wolverine: The Origin, number 3, January 2002. The Beast Within. Same team as last issue. James Howlett's world crumbles around him. His father murdered. Thomas Logan killed at his hands. His mother now driven insane by the violence, forcing him out of their home. Rose runs out to find James crumpled on the ground. Dog upstairs with vicious claw wounds across his face witnesses the suicide of Elizabeth Howlett, who had previously mourned over the body of Thomas Logan rather than her own husband. Oh yeah, something was going on there. Dog is later questioned by the local constables, and he blames everything on Rose, who is now wanted for murder and kidnapping. Receiving no help from her aunt, her only living relative, they turn to James's grandfather for assistance. He wants nothing to do with them, but he gives them money for the train so that they can leave him for good. Rose and James make their way north and stop at a remote mining town where they can hide. The foreman, Smitty, asks their names, and Rose tells him her name, but tells him that James is her cousin, Logan. I think the synopsis even skipped over. Yeah, then the mother commits suicide. Yeah, after forcing them out of the house. Yeah, takes that shotgun.
Shotgun blows her brains right out.
I mean, we see her point the gun in her head, but then we just hear a gunshot after that.
Yeah.
So, no wonder he doesn't want to remember.
You think? The most traumatic day of his life? Yeah.
The man who raised him, his real father, both dead, his mother, coming to, seeing what happens, decides to blow her brains out. Yeah. Yeah. And then the grandfather's just like, get out.
Yeah. The one other blood relation that's left. Legitimate blood relation that's left, because for all intents and purposes, Dog is his brother.
Yes, and all of this at the same moment that you discover, what the hell are these claws, and what am I? Yeah.
These bone claws. What are these bone claws about? Yeah, and the old man has only left surviving relations. Like, here's some money. Get the hell out of here. Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Yeah.
Poor these kids are dealt a really rough hand here.
Because I was just waiting for the mother or someone to be like, oh, he's been touched by the devil or something. Because, again, they don't know what mutants are at this point.
Right. Yeah, they don't even have a word for this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what I forgot to say during our first episode. Remember when we did Uncanny X-Men #1 from 1963? And I think in one panel, Professor X is saying, I might be the first mutant.
Oh, in the
original
number one?
Yeah, in the one from 1963, I think Professor X is saying, "Oh, I might be the first mutant." I just wanted to be like, you know what? I know at that point the character didn't exist, but I just wanted a panel of Apocalypse saying, "Bitch, please." The ego on you.
Yeah. I'm gonna at least 2,000 years on you, Xavier.
At least. I think Sinister is like older than Xavier too. I'm just like,
yeah, definitely.
But again, 63. Stan Lee was like, "Oh yeah, maybe Professor X is the first mutant."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was before Wolverine even.
Hmm.
All right, so any other thoughts on 3's Love Fest?
I liked how we leave off in this one where they're kind of making us start somewhere else.
Yeah.
That was nice. And it makes sense to me that it was the wilderness, that they chose to, rather than try to go to some other town or something and have him get a job in some town, some fishing town or whatever. Mm-hmm. They go further into the wilderness and find this little mining town. Yeah, I liked that.
Oh, yeah, because once again, in this era, it's like you don't have papers or, basically like, oh, I need a job. Okay.
Yep.
Start digging.
Yep. We need an extra pair of hands, and you'll do. And
then that's the other thing. And then not only has he been traumatized, but then, James also has to, living under an assumed name, and he's got to do manual labor for the first time in his life because he's been pampered his whole life.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Oh, and then he knew nothing about getting psychiatric help in this era either. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and I was going to say, it's not even just like the mother's just like goes nuts at it, with all the murders and everything, but then she's like throwing stuff at him, telling James, like, get out and stuff. You're a monster, you're an animal, get out.
Yeah. Yeah, she said some horrible things to him before she shunned him away.
Get out of this house, you damned abortion.
Ugh, yeah. Yikes.
What'd she say? Oh, yeah, when Rose is trying to snap the mother out of it, the mother's saying, I said it would. If we came back, I said so. Again, I just wish we would have got more of what happened between her and Thomas and all that stuff.
Well, I mean, that panel of her kind of weeping over his body and not her husband's kind of said it to me, okay, there's something more between them. Why he beat her, chose to beat her and lash her, I don't understand, unless it was the husband that did that, maybe he found out about the affair and took it out on his wife.
It doesn't seem like he was the type, though.
Yeah, it didn't seem like he had that type of personality.
Because again, if he was like that type, you think he would have been brutal to Thomas and stuff,
or the son, Thomas's son, Dog. He would have done something horrible to Dog. Yeah, I don't know. It's very strange. Those scars leave a lot of mystery to still be explained. Yeah. Which we'll never figure out because she's dead.
I know.
We'll never explain, probably.
Like I said, I can't remember much of Origin 2. We'll have to get to that someday.
Was that 6 issues too?
I believe so, yeah. Yeah,
cool. Yeah. We'll do that in an episode, yeah.
All right. You ready for the next one?
Number 3.
Number 4.
Or 4, actually. Yeah, 1 4 now.
Yeah, halfway. All right. Wolverine, the Origin, number 4. From February 2002, Heaven and Hell. Looks like the same team, maybe. Seda Temfont is back as letterer. Richard Eisenov is back as colorist. James Logan Howlett begins his new life as a quarry worker and discovers that despite his attempts to stay in the shadows, he is picked on by a bully who happens to be the camp cook named Cookie. Isn't that ironic? The cook's name is Cookie. It's like that Seinfeld episode where they're like, the library cop's name is Bookman.
I love that.
Kramer's like, that's like an ice cream man. His name is Cone. Cookie loves to use his massive size to intimidate Logan and to rough him up. Logan fights his desires to retaliate and is often rescued by Smitty, the camp foreman. As years march on, Logan begins to develop a wilder side that he keeps hidden from those in camp, including Rose, but which he embraces on occasion by running loose up on a mountainside. His senses become honed, and he displays highly developed skills as a hunter. He manages to find enough game to provide for himself, Rose, and even others who are struggling with their rations, which begins to bring him a degree of popularity among the camp. This also inflames the jealousy of Cookie, who increases his violence toward Logan. During one particular savage beating, Cookie is interrupted by Smitty, who beats Cookie down and allows Logan to run off, where he finds himself quickly surrounded by a pack of wolves. Logan unleashes his claws and stares down the lead wolf until he finds himself accepted as a kindred spirit among them. All right, so
I loved this. I love that part at the end where he first he sees the wolf and he gets his claws out and they're kind of staring each other down and growling and stuff, and then he kind of goes prone and goes all submissive so that the other wolves will come out. I really enjoyed that. That was cool. That was a nice little touch. That it wasn't just Logan be like, oh, I'm just going to kill this wolf and assert my dominance over whatever, the typical alpha male crap. It was nice to see a different side of that.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, there's those older stories were they Claremont stories. I think there's at least 2 occasions where like they showed like instead of hunting, like he would go out in the woods and like just like try to sneak up on deer, and if he could, instead of just killing them, he was just like do his, be like tap him on the back, and be like, "Yep, here I am." So they were running off.
Yeah,
but he's like, "Oh, I can sneak up on a deer." Yeah,
yeah.
I always thought that was cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so I know time passes in this issue. I know between the first and second issue, time passes, and then probably between the last one and this one, time passes. How old do you think Rose is at this point?
Probably 14, 15?
Maybe, yeah. So,
what do you think?
I don't know. No matter what age, I'm thinking it's probably pretty inappropriate to have the nude scene of her bathing in the river or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't think that was necessary.
I'm pretty sure she's not 18. So
Yeah. Yeah, she's still a very young child. Yeah. I mean, they could have had that in she could have wrote about that whole scene in her diary. And they could have explained that without actually having to show it. Yeah.
Or, I mean, they could have had her doing whatever and not being completely naked in the water.
Yeah. And plus, that water's damn cold. She's not going to be up there bathing like that. The Canadian wilderness. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's going to be freezing cold and awful. No.
Although it is summer, because she says, we're into our second summer at the camp.
Well, that's true, but still.
Yeah.
Still, even summers in Canada, the water's going to be cold.
I don't know. I mean, not this scene in particular, but I think it was like one of their clumsy attempts to show, oh yeah, he's attracted to her.
Well, still, we already figured that out. Yeah.
The minute I saw that red hair, I knew he could be attracted to her.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think that was appropriate. If she had been an older character, if they had both been older and more years had passed, and they were in their early 20s or whatever, then that would totally make sense. And I think later on in the story they are. I think they stick around here for a few years, don't they? Yeah,
I think.
Just applied that.
Yeah, we get the. I want to talk about this timeline. Yeah.
But I also liked the introduction of Cookie as the nemesis, because he had to have, besides Dog, he had to have another nemesis for this story.
Yeah.
And I think that Cookie fits that role perfectly. He's just a big bully. He's just a nasty piece of work. And that's the type of villain that you love to hate. It's the type of bad guy that you love to see someone like Wolverine totally beat the tar out of and get his claws right in their face at the end of it all.
He's one of those guys you want to see him, put his fist on their chin, pop the 2 side claws, and be like, "You want the middle one, bub?"
Yeah, you're just waiting for that moment to happen because you know that it's going to happen.
But yeah, that scene at the end with the wolves is pretty cool, where he just basically
Yeah.
just stares them down, pops the claws.
Yeah. But then he submits rather than fighting that wolf
Mm-hmm.
and trying to assert his dominance and become the leader of the pack and all this other bullshit. You know, they skipped that trope completely.
Yeah.
And I liked that. That was nice. It was mature. It was a mature choice for this story.
It almost seems like he passes out, which I kind of took that as like, oh, like the wolves kind of recognize he's like a wounded animal.
I took it to mean that he was like going prone, like
Yeah.
like in one of the next issues when he has the confrontation with another wolf. The wolf does that. The wolf kind of whines and goes prone at his feet and like goes submissive, and that's when he stops his attack. It's a behavior that these wolves do to kind of show that they're submitting, they're recognizing the dominance of the pack leader, or whatever, for the wolves. Yeah, this type of wolf.
It's kind of like, oh wait, you think humans suck? Oh, me too.
Yeah, yeah. We both live on the periphery of humankind. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Should we get to number 5?
Number 5. Yeah. Revelation.
All right. Wolverine, The Origin, number 5 from March 2002. Yes, Revelation. Same team. A few years have apparently passed, and as Logan spends his time hunting with the local wolf pack, Rose is becoming romantically involved with Smitty, apparently to the disapproval of Logan. Smitty later assigns Logan as his new dynamite handler, which Logan actually enjoys. Logan begins to enjoy camp life and is a favorite amongst everyone, except Cookie. One night, Cookie sneaks off and shortens some fuses on the dynamite in hopes it will get rid of Logan, now having been given the nickname Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
Cookie sees Wolverine as stealing all of his friends away from him. A short time later, a cave-in happens due to the mistimed explosives. But even though several men die in the cave-in, Logan is not only a survivor, but a hero as he manages to save a young boy as well. Later on, Smitty gives him a manuscript from Japan that he picked up on one of his many travels as a former sailor, and explains that it is about the samurai, which reminds him of Logan. Oh boy. That evening, Logan discovers Cookie plundering through the cabin of one of the recently killed miners. Logan finally unleashes his pent-up fury for Cookie and beats him until he promises to admit what he had done. As he returns to his cabin, he sees Rose and Smitty kissing, which causes him to run away in rage into the woods, where he eventually fights with the lead wolf and defeats him. In the next scene, Logan's grandfather is seen in his bed talking to someone about finding his grandson, James. He tells him about where they went and makes him promise to find him. The other man turns out to be Dog Logan, now an adult, but sporting the same savage scars across his face. He swears to Mr. Howlett that he will hunt him to the ends of the earth. Yes, we pile on a bunch of Logan's trademarks in this issue. The Wolverine name, the Japanese samurai stuff.
The calm people, Bub.
Oh, yeah, Bub.
Yeah, Bub.
It's kind of like, oh, wait, the miniseries is almost over. Let's
We forgot to add in a couple things. Let's do it now.
Stack it up. All right, and it's weird. I mean, maybe they're adults now, but it's like, and I know this happened probably all the time back. Well, not all the time, but a lot back then, maybe. But it's just like Rose and Smitty. That's I don't know.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I'm like, wait, wasn't she a child when you met her?
Yeah. Literally, she was.
Yeah. I was just like,
yeah. That's why I feel like it would have been good to explain how many years had passed.
Yeah.
In some form or fashion, so that we would know. Yeah, I mean, yeah, she's actually an adult. But maybe making Smitty a few years younger might have helped as well.
Yeah.
Because it feels like he could be her dad, and that's just,
Yeah. I mean, and like maybe when they showed up at the camp, if Smitty had been like the son of the guy who ran the place or something, it would have made him seem younger.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe the dad the foreman or whatever died during the course of the story, and then he becomes the lead.
Yeah.
By default. Yeah. But this, I mean, it looks like he's old enough to be both of her dad. So I just, it's weird.
And again, I know people with big age discrepancies sometimes date, but I don't know. I even back then, I don't get how you can date somebody, or be with someone who was, you met them as a child when you were an adult.
Yeah. I don't know. Is it implied, I guess, that she's the only female in the camp? I mean, I guess that might have something to do with it.
Although not that this is like the first time this has happened in comics, but
well, that's true. Yeah. Was it Reed and Sue?
Yeah, remember when we did the Alpha Flight?
Alpha Flight, yeah. There's a long-standing Marvel tradition with this stuff, apparently. Yeah.
But so anything, I mean, what you think of this one? This was...
I really enjoyed this, yeah. I loved the little cliffhanger at the end with Dog at the grandfather's bedside.
Oh, yeah, scarred up Dog, yeah.
Yeah, saying he's going to track down Logan. Yeah, that was great. And I really liked the scene with him and the wolf, where the wolf was the one who submitted in this time in this issue. And that's when he kind of howls at the moon, and the other wolves come over and essentially acknowledge him as the leader of the pack now. Mm-hmm. I liked that. I thought that was a nice touch on the story, because here he is in this moment of rage, at just having seen his love making out with this dude who happens also to be his father figure at the same time. It's like his dad is stealing his girl, and he doesn't know what to do about it. So he runs off into the woods, and he's pissed and gets into a fight with the wolf pack. It's great. It's a great little moment, and it's done without any dialogue whatsoever, which I love. Yeah.
Oh, see, that's what I thought. When I originally read this, I was afraid they were going to make Dog Sabretooth, but they didn't.
I was hoping that they weren't going to do that.
Because I'm trying to remember, because I was just looking up the notes, but Dog shows up like later, like in like present day X-Men stuff at the time. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I figured he would definitely show up again, but.
So the dad had to. I mean, that Thomas had to have some kind of mutant ability, because again, Dog is long lived too. So.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, all those mutant abilities had to come from Thomas.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. See, there's all kinds of confusion, because it says, in the X-Men Origins Wolverine video game, it states that Victor Creed's nickname as a boy was Dog. So, in the Fox movie universe, they kind of combined Sabretooth and Dog, but yeah, they didn't do that in the comics.
Yeah.
That would have been, I don't know. That would have been too much for me if they would have been like, oh, yeah, that's Sabretooth. That's what I was afraid of when I first read this. No, don't make it Sabretooth.
That would have stunk, yeah. Or even any other character that we've already seen. Like, we don't need to do that.
It's like he doesn't have to have known Sabretooth since day one.
Right. Yeah, and then they would literally be brothers. Like, if it's implied that Thomas is Logan's real dad, then they would literally be brothers, and I can't handle that anymore. No. That's dumb.
And again, it's like he doesn't have to, collect all the Wolverine tropes right now. It's 100 years ago,
Right.
He still have 100 years. He could meet Sabretooth 50 years ago, not 100.
Yeah, right. Which I think is what happens, right? They meet during like World War II, or
it might even be one. It's either one or two. I think
it's one of the wars they run into each other. Yeah,
and then. Again, you never know, because did they work out for Weapon X, both of them?
Mm-hmm.
There was a weird point in the 90s where it's like, oh yeah, we've given them so many false memories. Who knows what's real and what's not?
We don't even know anymore. It could be anything.
Stay tuned for next week.
That's right. Then we really get into it.
All right, we ready for the last one?
Number 6.
And it's happy ending? Okay. Wolverine.
Feel good ending.
I know. Wolverine The Origin, number 6, from April 2002, Dust to Dust. Same team. Dog Logan is back and tracking Rose and James. He talks with a local trapper who tells him where they are and then kills the man as he leaves. Ah, you're welcome. In the meantime, James Logan has become distant from Rose as he is hurt by her engagement to Smitty. He tells her he always thought they would end up together. Smitty, meanwhile, is trying to sell off some possessions in order to raise money so that he and Rose can make their way to Vancouver, where he is to take another job better suited for a family man. Unsuccessful in his attempt, Smitty decides to enter into a cage fight tournament to earn the money. Logan also enters it, and after having the pleasure of beating down his nemesis Cookie, fights Smitty in the final match. In the end, however, he takes a dive so that Smitty and Rose can live happily together. As Logan says his goodbyes to Smitty, he is suddenly attacked by Dog, who intends to kill him. Logan beats him, but as he is about to throw a killing blow with his claws, Rose comes to try to protect him. Tragically, she trips into Logan's extended claws and dies. Logan runs back to the mountains to be with his wolf brothers, and Smitty unsuccessfully tries to track him down. To make matters worse, Cookie, in a final act of treachery, destroys Rose's diary so that no one, especially Logan, will ever be able to know the whole story as Rose had seen it.
Aww. Yeah.
So, again, I mean, it's the origin story, so you know it wasn't going to turn out too nice for...
Oh, yeah.
At least for Logan.
Yeah. I was bummed that Cookie survived. I thought that for sure, like, at some point in this final issue, Cookie was going to, like, I don't know, do something trifling, like pull out a knife or something on Logan, and like that's when the claws would come out. As soon as Logan knew that he had a knife or something, the claws would come out, and then Cookie would just be dead. You know what I mean? Either
that, or just as an afterthought, like Dog snaps his neck or something. You know, something.
Right? Yeah, something like that. Or maybe Smitty.
Yeah.
Like, you know, who knows? Yeah.
Because, like, when Cookie's about to fight Logan in the cage, like, Dog comes over and gives him, like, some brass knuckles. It's like, once Cookie's, like, gets beaten, Dog's like, you're useless to me, and stabs him or so, you know. So,
right, yeah. You can't even do this right, yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, and like we say, he throws the fight for Smitty, so.
Yeah.
And then
that was unexpected, too, that that happened. Yeah.
And then Smitty's like, oh, we're leaving. I talked to the boss. You're foreman now.
Which he's not happy about.
I was gonna say, I mean, yeah, Logan showed he's good at his job and stuff, but I'm sure there's a lot of guys who've been there way longer, probably like, why is he becoming a foreman?
Right? Yeah.
What? Because because you're marrying his cousin?
"Quote unquote" cousin.
Yeah. But even Smitty tells him during the cage fight, he's like, I know she ain't your cousin.
Yeah. Yeah, and the way she died was really tragic. Yeah, I had a feeling it was either going to be something like that, or like, you know, his berserker rage had gotten like unleashed for the very first time. He just like Cookie or Dog or somebody had just like kicked the shit out of him, and he just lost it. He just went berserker rage, and she just happened to like he just spun around, and she was there. You know, just because she was there, he hacked her down or something. You know.
Or what if they did something where like Dog or somebody kills Rose, and it's like, oh yeah, you know, you weren't there to save her because you didn't go savage enough in time to save her.
Right. Yeah. You could have saved her if you had, right.
If you hadn't held back, if you had, if you weren't acting so proper,
Yeah.
And that's what, and then from this point on, that's why he goes in the, lets himself get in the berserker rage and stuff, because it's like, when I don't, people die.
Yeah.
All the good people die.
All the good people die and the bad people live. Like in this case. Because the villains don't die. I mean, they don't, there's no final real victory for Logan here.
But I swear they were still playing with the idea at this point, because doesn't Dog look like Sabretooth right there?
Totally.
Yeah,
absolutely. Or at least like Sabretooth's dad.
Something, yeah. Oh, can you imagine that if like Dog was like, well, you can't do that because then they're related, but if somehow Dog was related to Sabretooth, and then just like generations of the family just try to hunt Logan down.
It's a family business.
Yes. That would have been a thing. If, they shouldn't have had Dog, have like longevity like Logan. They should have just had, it passed from father to son through all these generations. Just kill Logan.
It's an ancestral memory.
It's your problem, bub. You killed my great-great-great-grandfather. Prepare to die. It's like the Hatfields and McCoys, but if one side didn't age.
Right.
You killed my great-grandpappy. Prepare to die.
It's the Logans and the Howletts.
Mm-hmm.
Did they ever explore if there's any other Howletts still alive?
I don't think so. Like I said, I really can't remember what they get into in Origin 2. I mean, I think, you're going to pick up with Logan after this, but for the most part, I can't remember a lot of it, so.
Because, obviously the grandfather's dead at the end of the story. He's at his deathbed. And all of that, and obviously Logan's real, his other dad is dead. But I'm just wondering if there's any other Howlett family relations in other parts of Canada that, like Logan's uncle or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for the life of me, I cannot remember, so. But I don't think, from what I remember, I don't think there's any other Howletts, but. So, yeah, we'll have to pick that up one day, just because I have no memory, most of that I have no memory of, and.
Yeah, let's check that out. Now especially because I haven't read it, too.
Yeah, he's truly alone now, so.
Well, besides his wolf pack, he's still got them.
Oh, yeah.
And I like the stories when he's hanging out with the wolf pack. I do. I like that. He's just kind of in the wilderness doing his own thing with the wolves. I like that. Those are some of my favorite Wolverine stories. Yeah.
Oh, like I said, there's a lot of stories where it's like, he does respect animals. He's not just out there killing for the sake of killing.
Yeah. I love that.
The only trope they missed is that, man, in 6 somewhere, they should have had him chomping on a cigar or something, something.
Smitty should have given him a cigar or something as he was leaving.
Oh, I picked these up on my travels to Cuba.
Right. And I'm glad that he didn't say, "I'm the best there is at what I do."
Oh, what I do is all pretty.
What I do pretty. We hadn't quite reached that part of his repertoire yet.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, Justin?
No, I really enjoyed this.
Did you?
I thought the artwork was excellent. I thought the story was great. I wasn't expecting a happy ending, so I wasn't really disappointed by that.
Yeah, just with his tragic history, and it's the beginning. Yeah, he made it too comfortable at this point. Yeah, he doesn't become the Wolverine,
Yeah, I knew that they weren't getting out of this unscathed. That nobody in this story was going to get out of this unscathed, emotionally or otherwise. Yeah, I do want to see a final showdown with Cookie, though. I feel like we were robbed of that. We need to see that. And I want justice for Callie, damn it.
Yes. Oh, it'd be funny if somehow, Cookie, gets longevity, and Cookie becomes the lifelong nemesis.
Oh, yeah. Remember me? I've been tracking you down all these years.
That's I don't know, though, because then everyone would be like, that's the guy's been hunting you for 100-some years? A guy named Cookie?
Yeah. The Cookie Monster.
I was going to say, yeah, Bubby's a monster.
Nom, 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 nom.
Here he comes.
Nom, 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 nom.
Me like revenge.
Nom, 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 nom. Howdy, y'all!
What makes him so evil?
Squish is a squishy.
All right. Anything else?
No, I'm glad we covered this, and next week we'll be covering even more Wolverine.
Yes. Oh, a month where we cover Wolverine. Oh, and okay, Russell, you had to throw nicknames to us. I think Justin just gave me the green light to start calling you Cookie. So,
Cookie, Cookie Monster,
Cookie Collector. All right, kids. So yes, next week we're gonna talk that classic Weapon X storyline from Marvel Comics Presents 72 through 84.
Barry Windsor Smith.
Yes, just the Wolverine stories, which luckily so, because that's the only stories from those issues on Marvel Unlimited. So
Yeah. Imagine that.
and like I said, I think maybe one of, if not the only storyline from that run they actually collected in like a trade, because I do have a trade paperback of that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually how I first read this story.
Yeah,
a friend of mine had that and let me borrow it, yeah.
Oh, man, I wish I was reading that, and I was like, man, I wish I had the original issues.
Me too. I think I've got a couple of them, but I don't have the whole thing.
So, yeah, so we get it. I think that's the first real peek we get into Weapon X, so actually what they did to him, so.
And that was, what, 90, 91?
Let's see. I was going to say it's either late 80s or early 90s. Did we look this up already? Leave us alone, kids. We're old men. Yes, Marvel Comics Presents 7/2 was March 1991 cover date.
91, okay.
Yep. Oh, good. It has no synopsis, I don't think. Oh, lovely. All right.
Well, I bet we can find one for the whole thing out there somewhere.
Oh, man. They robbed us of all the other stories in that issue. I'm looking at the thing for 72. Oh, my God. Part 5 of The Bush of Ghosts with Shauna the She-Devil.
Yeah.
The Bush of Ghosts?
The Bush of Ghosts.
With Shauna? Okay.
Now you find out if the carpets match the drapes.
Exactly.
Coming out of the bush?
That's right, kids. We have a drop for everything.
I can't wait to blow his mind. Good for that release.
Coming out of the bush, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
one.
I mean that was the same episode I think with Sentient Tongue. So
is that a sentient tongue?
Pretty sure.
How hard is it?
Question you've asked yourself many times, eh?
The nut jar.
All right. So next time, yes, Marvel Comics Presents 72 through 84, the Weapon X storyline, and then the episode after will cover Wolverine from the first ongoing 17 through 20, and then the week after will follow up with 21 through 23, both Justin picks.
Yes, I picked a John Byrne Wolverine story.
Yes,
which I think is going to be quite a surprise to everybody. Yeah.
Burn.
All right, so yes, send us all your Wolverine thoughts, and we'll be doing some Spider-Man Wolverine team-ups in March also on Ultimate Spider-Cast.
Yes.
Oh my God, and it works out so perfectly too, because at the end of the month when me, Ray, and Dave we're just going in order with the Scarlet Spider stuff. We're on the Kane Scarlet Spider miniseries.
Yeah.
And I think the month of March, when we're doing Wolverine stuff, me and Lilith are doing Wolverine stuff, it just works out perfectly. I believe there's either 1 or 2 issues of that Scarlet Spider that month. It's going to be with the Wolverine guest star. I'm like, oh my Lord.
And you didn't even have to plan it out that way. It just happened naturally.
I should keep my mouth shut because I look like an effing genius. Like, yeah, I had this plan for like the last 2 years. Yeah.
I had to move a bunch of episodes around so it would fall into the right month.
Yes, I'm the chess master.
Yeah.
All right.
I love it.
So, yeah, send us your thoughts. Email us CapesandLunatics@gmail.com or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can find all things Capes and Lunatics episodes, social media, merchandise. Again, buy some merch, help support us. Or Lilith Hellfire's favorite, if you want to just rain random money on us with the Cash App link. There's a Cash App link.
Make it rain.
And, of course, the Patreon, where it's getting crazier and wilder over there. February, was it Friday? We're going to record. We're going to review the AVN Awards, and then in March, I believe we've nailed her down, kids. We're going to get some Lilith Hellfire conspiracy theories, and if you want your conspiracy theory read, write in, and then if you want to hear it, subscribe to the Patreon, because I told you, it's getting
more vicious and brutal than ever.
Just like our pal Cookie. All right, so find everything all in one place. That's tubespace.io/CapesandLunatics Podcast Network. That's tubespace.io/CapesandLunatics Podcast Network. That's right, kids. So you get the free podcast, and then you get the extra content on Patreon.
Double biscuits for me.
Because he is a patron, kid, so he gets some
That's
double
right.
biscuits. Every month he walks away going,
Oh, that's naughty.
all right. This Justin the Owl, we can find him here every week, either on X-Men Classics or Marvel Tales, or sometimes both. You can catch him twice a month on Electric Mullet, the Superman podcast, with myself and Tyler Patrick. Once a month with me and Russell on Energon Universe, where we talk all the new Transformers and G.I. Joe comics. And, of course, We Are the Night, the Batman podcast.
Batman podcast.
You're welcome, Ray, as the three of us talk Jean-Paul Valley, and right now we're on the Azrael ongoing series.
Yeah.
And, of course, he's the king of podcasting, so he does way more. So, Justin, what else are you up to?
You can also find me on Gamma Charge, the strongest podcast there is, with my pal Russell. We talk about the Incredible Hulk and the sensational She-Hulk 3 times a month. And we also have a Patreon. Check that out. You can find us on Predator and Prey with our pal Ray, the High Priest of Khonshu himself. Predator and Prey, the Yucha podcast, is also twice a month. Gone the Form of Man, the Etrigan podcast. Me and Russell are talking about The Demon from the 1970s series by Jack Kirby. And last but not least, The Lost Library of Legends is still going on, my solo project. And by the time that this episode comes out, this will be in March.
Yeah, first week of March.
I'm going to be covering a very obscure Marvel series from the 90s called Black Wolf.
Oh.
Going back to the 90s here, bitch.
Do you remember that one, Phil?
I never read Black Wolf, but I do remember, I think he appeared in Thunderstrike or something.
Yes.
Yeah, I do
That was
remember
his
that.
first appearance
Yeah.
was as an issue of Thunderstrike.
Yeah. Yeah, I was meant to read that because I remember reading that to him in Thunderstrike, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Because did DeFalco write that too? Black Wolf?
No.
No?
He wrote that Thunderstrike issue.
he wrote the
but,
Thunderstrike, I know.
No, I think it was Glenn Herdling that wrote
Okay.
the series. Yeah, I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat this up with a fork and spoon.
That's right, kids. Go check out the Lost Library of Legends.
I love it.
All right. Thank you for joining us again for 3 more weeks of Wolverine.
Yes.
Yeah, Weapon X next week. Man, I already reread that. Oh, I can't wait to get to that.
That's good stuff. Yeah. Classic. Puts the classic in classic X-Men.
That's right. Oh, I was going to say, will the day ever come when we'll do an issue of X-Men Classics on, or Classic X-Men on X-Men Classics?
We should, yeah.
Even though they're all reprints
those
of
backups are all good.
Oh, yeah, the backups, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I almost guarantee you we'll never do Uncanny X-Men 67 through, was it 92? There was all reprints. So. All right, come back next time.